A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is Sunday, May the 18th, 2025. And a little while ago, the Indian under 19 men's team defeated Bangladesh on penalties to lift the 2025 edition of the U19 of the SAF U19 Championship. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a few other things as well. As I've always like to say, if you like what you hear, what you see, do leave a like behind, share it with other people to potentially join in our conversations. Also, do have a look at the shorter videos that I try and make on a regular basis. I did something today about what I feel could be a way of how to get OCI card holders to play and represent the Indian national teams. Other stories in there as well. So just have a look at those stories. And those of you who are following, do follow, of course, Arun Foot here. And thanks for all of your subscriptions. And let's get into this. Hi, Kumar. Welcome back. I guess congratulations, not only to me, but to all of us. But again, the question now is, what can Divyano get out of the squad in the qualifiers? I think that's going to be the big challenge for him with the team. This is important that you are able to keep a winning habit. What a great crowd, passionate fans, man. Yeah. You are in a part of India in Arunachal Pradesh, which some would say is a once in a while, that they are a forgotten part of India sometimes. And from that perspective, I feel it's good that these kind of competitions are being held. The Arunachal Pradesh Football Association has built certain level of infrastructure for these things to happen. So that's a good thing of happening. Kumar says singing national anthem is a problem for some player. That means ego is bigger than my nation. If he have really want to play for my nation, just the national anthem is not rocket science. And there, Kumar, I totally disagree. Because I think there are means and ways of showing that you are I don't want to use the word nationalistic, because nationalistic, the German in me has a wrong connotation when we talk about nationalism, which you guys in India don't seem to understand. I very often feel sorry to say that. And we've had this discussion in Germany as well, that certain players just don't want to sing the national anthem. Originally it was said, the immigrant kids don't want to sing it. And then, if some German-born kids don't want to sing it as well, I don't think it should be an issue. And it's not an ego thing. And it is very, very, sorry, I'll be very brutal. I've been very honest with all of you guys in the last few weeks. This is very, very arrogant of you to expect someone to sing a national anthem. I've heard this from people that they don't want to sing it. You've had players playing in the ISL who have foreigners who've sang the Indian national anthem. I remember Lucian Goyan used to do that when he was playing for Mumbai City and at Chennai. And therefore, for me, it is not important to sing the national anthem. To me, is that the person represents the field and shows that passion on the field. The most passionate I've seen a team sing a national anthem was Brazil in the 2014 World Cup against Germany. Most passionate, one of the most passionate instances I've seen a team sing a national anthem. What happened? They were even crying afterwards. After national anthem, what happened? They got trashed 7-1. So great. Show your national goal. This is, if I have to talk about it, if I have to prove my nationalism, that is wrong, right? According to me, again, I'm very, very German in this thought process. There are countries, again, I don't like a national anthem being paraded around, as we do. Why do we have a national anthem in front of an ISL game, right? Is there a requirement for that? The same thing I can ask about the MLS in America. I don't think. If you have to prove your nationalism, then there is a problem in that country, in that society, in my opinion. Again, maybe very controversial what I'm saying, but this is my feeling. If you have to prove something, it is, in my opinion, wrong. Because the person representing the country, that's more important to me. And they need to be representing the country for the right reasons. At the moment, we have a different problem in the Indian national team where certain players are playing to ensure their own careers rather than wanting, So let's see. Good evening, Geron Rare. For a moment, I thought when India started playing long ball game, I felt we will lose. Geron Rare, that's the problem. We are in a situation because we lack football basics. We come to that, right? So yeah, that's an issue, right? So we have to live with it. First goal was like David Beckham, yeah, great goal, yeah. Now we'll face same issue again. Great talent, but how to nurture them? Again, nurturing is the whole issue, and that's something which we need to remember. Next season, ISL match against East Bengal, rival fan will carry Israel flag. Okay, Shomo. Context? I don't know what the context is. What happened to India's gameplay today was disappointing. What gameplay? Right? That is, ask yourself the question, when we talk about gameplay, then we are already having a problem. If you like it or not, Indian intelligence is always watching everyone. Supreme Court direct verdict gave full permission to spy anyone that no one is bigger than the state. Kumar, why do you have to talk about anyone is bigger than something? I don't get that. If you don't sing your national anthem, you think you're bigger than something? What is wrong? Seriously. It's a joke, right? You can't be saying this seriously. And if you're saying this seriously, I have a problem, serious problem, right? Nobody noticed the penalty closely. Bangladesh actually cheated, but nobody noticed they put the ball out of a bit ahead of penalty. Why thought this was whose fault if the referee should notice? Fan club, it is the referee to see it. Is it cheating? I don't know. Someone places it. Sometimes the ball moves again. Is it cheating on purpose? Again, prove it to me. I don't know. I don't care about gameplay. We won. That's all. Yeah. So you're right, Mayank. I'm with you on this. Sometimes you have to have take a win rather than anything else. But yeah. However, the German nationalism could be different from Indian nationalism. If you like it, that is India Ka Bharat. Kumar, you've not understood something again, and that's what am I? This whole discussion is always someone has to prove something. Then that country, in my opinion, has a problem and shows rather its weakness than its strength. So this is the problem. So that's the reality. Bangladesh all players in squad, Mayank, not that I know of in this squad. No. So any news about OCPO? Nothing as such. The government has said something. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, but yeah, that's the reality. India is doing so bad now also. So actually today you can see what we are in. Yeah, we need more improvements, I agree. But don't say no, we're not doing good. Satyam, if you want to think that we're doing good, please take it. Yeah. So let's not get to this. Abhijit thinks Bangladesh was better tonight. Yeah, if one is honest about it, that's the point. Hannibal Kumar asked earlier on a question and wanted to make a point that it's an ego problem of players, and to me, I think, and I've said this in Germany as well, we've had this discussion around the German national team as well. I think it should be left to each individual player if he wants to sing, or even coaching staff if they want to sing it or not. Right? For me, it's more important that the players deliver performances. And my favorite example in this, so let's see where we can take this. Why are we even celebrating SAF Cup victories like it's a big achievement? AIFF, I think because at that level, winning the SAF Cup at this moment is the maximum we can achieve. We've not qualified. So not forget qualifying. We've not played an under 20 or under 19 AFC competition since 2006. In 2006, India hosted it in Kolkata and Bangalore at the time. So that's the reality at this level. So this time is government have serious about OCI players. Rama, they will have to prove it because they have to find solutions, and that to me will be interesting to see. I think we missed so much chances, like in 93rd minute. Also, that safe can make us win before penalty, but yeah, we were just need a grooming performance. 19 national team, nothing else. Okay, sir, our senior team is not performing. At least these guys have done something. Yeah, take it, be happy. But the real challenge now comes at the next level. I don't think this current government, with their views on nationalism, is going to do anything but OCIs. Yeah, the point is that the news has come out of the sports ministry. And therefore, we will have to wait and see. The government has to now do. German nationalism led to world wars. Yeah, on one side you can say that, but nationalism around the world is a problem, right? The first one, we can still push it onto Austria, the Kingdom of Austria and Hungary, the Habsburgs and the Serbs. Second one, there is no doubt about it. But therefore, I think that when you want to talk about nationalism, I think that on that front, I think we have been brought up in a certain way in the 80s here in Germany with a certain understanding of history. And therefore, there are certain things which I am very, very careful about. But yeah, in other parts of the world, people don't seem to understand that. And that what always worries me. Our national crowd has been spectacular. Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time. Whenever you've had something or the other in Arunachal Pradesh, the people have come out and supported the games. I've said this a little earlier. I feel sometimes it's a little bit of a forgotten region in India, and these people, are happy if you come to their region, if you show them the capabilities and possibilities, and yeah. So therefore, from that perspective, hopefully more games will happen over there for the youth national teams. Even maybe the women's national team could be potentially playing matches there in future. Let's wait and see. Good evening, Anurag, not the best match, but came out as winners as expected. U19 staff. Anurag, that's at the end what most probably counts. Winning mentality building. Yeah, that's what it is. Hi, Vashwar, enjoyed the tournament thoroughly, but yes, very surprised to see them crumble under pressure after such sharp quality. Is one of the finest attacks I've seen amongst all old U19 batters. Ashwar, you've commentated on the games. So therefore, for me, how can we get these players prepared for the next level? Because playing again, Bangladesh is a good test, and if we count the 90 minutes, it's a draw. And in the Asian qualifiers, you'll have tougher competition. So Bibiano has a job to do. Bangladesh cracked the playbook of playing against India, physicality, getting under our skin, small fouls throughout, deep defense, direct play. But I think if our players have physicality and composure. Abhijit, good observations. I think for us, the question is, we have to be smarter in our game. The technical aspect is a problem. If you see some of the finishing, some of the wayward passing is a problem. And it's going to be interesting because, as you say, Bangladesh, the men's team, Bangladesh, the women's teams who've been beating India now on a regular basis. Now at this level, last year we also had our problems against Bangladesh in Nepal. That's the reality. What is the pitch criteria for hosting ISM? Because the crowd that came to support the United team is just another level. Arnav, natural grass is one of those criteria, and connectivity is another one, which the ISL wants. That's why it's taken Shillong so many years. Again, Shillong has now done the infrastructure changes. The ground originally was turf. Now it's been turned back into a grass field. Connectivity, hotels, infrastructure generally, there are multiple criteria. Is it just me, or do our narratives look frail compared to so many other decent countries? It's interesting observation. I've been seeing this. I've been also talking about this quite a while in the ISL, that I feel that our wingers very often seem to be shorter in height than they have been in the past. I don't see those Manvir Singh kind of characters in there. And therefore for me, it's a good observation that it seems to be the current generation of players who are coming through height-wise is not taller than the earlier gene. Do you expect us to play like Japanese United? No, but better. And Satyam, it will not be better, because if we don't do the right things at youth level, but you say we're doing the right things and you're celebrating that certain people are doing the right things, they've not been doing the right things. We have not done the right work at youth level over the last 15, 20 years. This is an end result. If we are, you ask the next question, why don't we celebrate small wins? Celebrate the small win. But this is not the level that I want us to play in. If you're happy, you talk about us playing World Cup, right? So, different world, right? Abhijit, listen to the start of the conversation, then you understand. You mentioned that Brazil lost after sing national anthem. Sing national anthem, you have to play football now. The sing national anthem, the battlefield does not win you battle. You know how to fight. Kumar, again, if you would understand why I said what I said, is it should be left to each individual, right? If he's performing on the field for your nation, that is for me more important than what he's doing before. Simple argument. And therefore, for me, the Brazil one is the perfect example. Of Those who remember 2014, Neymar got injured against Colombia and all that stuff, hanging up, putting up the jersey, doing this, crying, national anthem, this. It was too much. Psychologically, they lost something. So therefore, there is a right way to get into the mood into a match. And that is something which we need to be able to do with a national team. Arunachal deserves good international games. To agree, given with all things being considered, I still feel Bangladesh players and supporters are very dislikable, even though our guys anything to boast against either. Abhijit, they are doing their things, right? I mean, do we like the way, let's say, Uruguay plays, Chile plays, right? And so therefore, they have a certain way, and we are the big boys of South Asia. We still are, right? So for a Bangladesh, for a Nepal, for a Sri Lanka, for a Maldives, for a Bhutan, theoretically, if we play against them, a Pakistan, for them to be able to beat us is a big thing. For us, winning SAF should be the most normal thing in the world, right? We want to compete at a higher level. But that's the problem, right? So therefore, that's the thing. Is too different. Kumar, you don't need to tell me, but there are certain ethics and values which I think we've learned here in Germany due to the wars that I think every human being should be learning. And most of the world don't, because if you've not gone through the situation, you will not understand. So that's the problem. Can't believe this team was getting hyped. Defenses of the Dixis Blue. And this is the reality of so that's the thing. That's where we are, right? Northeast have a footballing culture where either you play Northeast, you'll get 2,000 crowd easily. Okay. 1 second, my heartbeat was very high when I suddenly opened and saw 3-1 Bangladesh lead in penalties. I thought it is new low for us. After Afghanistan, we won, but the way we won is equal to huge loss. Shanlata, take the win today. And that's the reality as well. So, yeah. So I think the pitch is not good. It's artificial turf. Mank, whoever is playing on a pitch, XYZ, it doesn't matter. You'll have to adjust. You're playing at home. You've got the crowd support is your 12th, your 13th, your 14th man. Massive support to it, right? So from that perspective, the turf should not be a question that we should be discussing at all. Because wherever you play in the world, sometimes you'll have better grounds, sometimes you have worse grounds. And if we're saying that you're playing SAF U19, I remember last year, I think it was the All Nepal Football Association complex ground where they were playing. That artificial turf was much worse than what was there. So that's a reality. I love our United players. I don't have big expectations like some people have. Winning matters at last. Okay, so I personally even thought the hype is about Shami and Danny. I would say watch out for Jajo Prasha. He won the U20 state champion in Delhi and also played senior Santosh. And yes, right, a lot to work on. And the bench was never throughout impactful for once. And that is something, if one follows someone like Bibiano Fernandez, Bibiano likes to freshen up things after an hour if he's early, or after 70, 75 minutes. So he wants to give that second push. And that is something which has not been happening. I think one problem I observed with this squad is over-ambitious. They usually don't play passes when they can't create easy chances, but they become a bit selfish because of past matches scores and that cost. That's a learning process, right? And that is something Bibiano will put into. So therefore, for me, Bibiano will work on those things, but they need to play better opposition to prepare themselves for the qualifiers. So my thought became, right, Bangladesh again exposed us for what could have been a 4-goal dominant win, came to penalties in a SAF match. Shame we won, but feeling disappointed while their fans proud. Okay, Sean Mata. This part of the world is really going back on religious extremism. The comment section was all Bangladesh and some Pakistan was doing religious chants against India since Wagah is also bad. Abhijit, it's a sad reality. And again, I always say whoever is organizing such matches, turn off the chat function, because you're not. Do you know that whoever was saying whatever, were they really doing it? Were it bots or something? I mean, you see it also in matches elsewhere. Whenever they do live streams, don't. I always turn off the chat whenever I'm watching matches, because it is a waste of time. So not that good a game compared to the rest. Ranjal, I think this was the toughest opponent. So therefore, and Bangladesh had a plan. And this is logical, but we should be very ashamed that we went to penalties and also were second trailed by 2 goals in penalty. Luck was ours. Bangladesh missed. Otherwise, the real winner was Bangladesh. Yeah, and this is, Janlata, that's the danger, right? I mean, it's like the senior match in Shillong, where you felt Bangladesh was the moral victor, and the women's team has lost to them now a few times. Yeah, let's see. Hey, Metantamine, I'm good. I was actually stadium watching it on the side. Boys crumble under pressure. Don't coaches build a strategy for these situations? Viviano will be a coach who will have a strategy for such a situation. Yes, 100% Viviano would have had a strategy for this game. But what Viviano's problem, I think, would have been in a match like today would be they've most probably never faced such a situation. Packed arena, vocal backing. The opponent somehow wants to beat you, wants to break you. Abhijit mentioned some of those points, so therefore, for me, for someone like Bibiano, a match like this is good. In the end, he'll take the win, but he will have learned his lessons, and he will be talking to those boys and telling them, guys, these are the things that we face today. These are the things that happened today. And to me, he surely would have started. But the point is, Bashwa said a little while ago, the bench had limited to no impact. And that is, I think, the problem for Bibiano. Who do I put in to try and change things in a way that we are able to do what we need to do? Yeah. The crowd was much higher than Shillong. Arunachal deserves a lot of international matches. Wow, the roar was making goosebumps. What a passion. Salute Arunachal fans. They're a real winner. Yeah, it was, but let's see what kind of games they get. Hi, RRC game. What's your thoughts on this Avenue campaign? Are you satisfied or not? I'm satisfied with the result. I'm not satisfied by today's game, what I watched, because it highlighted our weaknesses, our problems. But I know that a Bibiano, with the experience that he has, will try and work on those. The question is, how much time does he get with the boys? That's the point, right? So, that's the point. So we should forget the past, and now we're doing big in youth level at last. Where are we doing big? What world do you live in, right? It's this today is an example of where our issues were. I take the win, yes, but it exposed us, and we have to face tough opposition. So again, this is. By the way, Sharjah FC won ACL2 today. Yeah, congratulations to them beating Lions Sailors. Today, South met Bangladesh better play than our team. I don't know what midfielders are doing. I think Bangladesh is dominating the game. See, and this is those of you who understand the game a little, you know, again, we all take the win, but again, that should be normal. But where are we? How is this? And I'll tell you, I'll be very clear that knowing Bibiano will be on onside very, very happy. But Bibiano think is, so therefore for me, he would have learned, like how will you merge the grassroots and youth system, as some state does it and some doesn't. So how will we bridge it, or should we do it in the state itself? Then you will have certain states where Mizoram is doing their own things, right? Others are trying it. Others have a little bit of a system. Others are dependent on clubs. So you will not be forcing a system on everybody across India, and that will not work. Anyone can see with their open eyes Bangladesh side are overage players. That's why they're dominating us physically. Are we not overage? Isn't the whole tournament an overage tournament? Simple question. By the way, sir, I think our national team can start today. In nearly 8 months, we're finally going to face a below 100 ranked team. Also, friendlies of women against Uzbeks. What is your prediction? For me, the Thailand game, Manolo should see and find his best 11, which I thought he had found against Maldives, but then it didn't fire against Bangladesh. So that's the one. Hong Kong is the main thing. I want us to win. And against Uzbekistan for our women, let's see what Crispin can get out that squad. I think you're spot on. If we crumble under pressure this way against Bangladesh and on the back foot, our national flair was gone. What will we do against Iran, Japan, etc.? The real test begins now in AFC qualifying matches. Exactly, Vashwar. And that's this. The result here is good. For the boys, it's important. Yeah, it's going to be a test. And so, yeah, what and mental aspects are guys were lacking to. I saw occasions get to them sometimes. Abhijit, good point, because I feel they sometimes got overawed by the occasion. I don't know. It felt like whole stadium, pressure at home, Bangladesh being the better team. And that's the main thing. Selfishness was something which was mentioned today here in the chat. So therefore, for me, these are all things that have happened, and we'll have to see what can the team do. And to me, as I say again and again and again, someone like Bibiano will have learned his lessons today. Bibiano will try and change things, so therefore we'll have to wait and see what they do. The final of Qatar, artificial grass also, what our fans come out in this match. There were no artificial turf grounds. There were hybrid grounds, Satyam. What do you think about Man City loss against Crystal Palace? What less to a loss, and also do you like predict the finals in the Nations League? I didn't see the Crystal Palace Man City game, so Man City has had a terrible season, and what inconsistency will be Man City's game. And if we look at UEFA Nations League, I would love to have a Germany-Spain rematch in the final. And then hope we win it. Who do you think can win Eredivisie this season? Ajax or PSV, or what about Serie A? PSV won this. Eredivisie today, didn't they? I thought they won it today. Inter Napoli, yeah, Napoli, Conte would be a crazy one. So I think we should focus more on getting uniting games with teams like Thailand and Laos. Okay. So straight question: do you see the OCIPO players playing? Ishan, the government has to create the framework. Playing is an easy part. To me, playing is the easy part. To me, is a very simple thing. That's why I today did a video on that. How can OCI cardholders play for India? I gave a potential roadmap which I think is doable from an Indian government perspective. The point is that there are players who are ready to play for India. The government and the sporting federations need to create a framework that these players can represent us. Very, very simple. So that's the challenge that we face at this moment. After this uniting campaign, I believe the future of national team is in good hands. Hope to see some good players in future for the men's national team. Mari Vanzo, let's hope so. Happy that we won. Bangladesh, of course, played well. Bibiano's Indian, Southgate. I mean, really, you know what the team you got. They have played good football, yet you go defensive after taking lead. Have they really played good football? That would be XYZ. That would be my question. Because see the, so therefore for me, I would not compare Bibiano with Southgate, but Bibiano also knows the shortcomings of his teams. Gareth Southgate has a team at his disposal which can beat anyone. So that's the thing. Who apart from Danny Bath and Yandanda will be willing to come, by the way, mostly 30 plus ones, and also the bad part is a fond obsession with always generally they must support even anyone in future doesn't perform. Vashwar, most of the players we're talking about are in their mid-20s. I don't know where you get this and guarantee a spot. Why? Why would, then you have to say that even guarantee spots, this, that, everything. I'm not of the opinion. And I'll tell you, if looking at the current national team, and I've got 30 players in my mind who are PIOs, I think I can get a PIO team together who will any day beat the Indian national team. That's also reality, right? If we want to talk about those things. A special session to bed for all Indian athletes for every big tournament, every sport, that the common problem of lack of winning mentality can be solved. We do better in reality. Shonlata, there are team psychologists, and to me, the mentality part is a very difficult one, because you have to have leaders on the field who take charge of difficult situations. Big teams always have had some sort of leadership on the field that is, it doesn't have to depend on the coach or outside influences. And that is something which is not taught to our kids. So therefore, that's the thing. Why do you think our defense was so bad? Every single corner felt like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know why. But again, I thought today the defense was for the first time exposed in this tournament because the others were not good enough. Right? That's the reality. When these guys are playing next, normally they should be playing in September, October, the qualifiers. And I hope that they get an extended camp. Yeah, that's the reality. Let's see. Off topic, Arun Jones says, I teach you guys about the two wars, even though wars were moral, but it was still badass for Germany taking on the entire world and wasn't defeated that easily. Abhijit, what we've been taught as kids, and especially with people alive when we were kids who were part of the Second World War. A very good friend of my father was 16 when he was recruited and had to fight for the Germans, had to go eastern flank, spend some time under Soviet Union prisonership, POW. If you hear the stories of these people, and also younger women and whatever happened in the war can never be an option. War should never be an option. but a country should be in a position to defend itself. And these kind of things, to say that it's still badass that Germany, no, wrong thought process. What wars are never a solution. Mankind, societies, economies cannot grow in such situations. So, yeah. One comment said World War was Germany trying to take over the entire world and they almost did. Yeah, I don't find that funny. Sorry. Give them time. This team will improve. Remember, this team is promoting if season championship qualifiers. Vigilal, I hope so. I hope so. In comparison of past batches, apart from 2015-17 batches, this batch shows me courage to put extra effort. Rare, let's hope so, because I saw them 2 years ago as under 17, and I felt at under 17 level, this batch was one of the poorest that I've seen. So if they've developed that much, that is good. But today was the first real test, and to me, we got exposed. We won. I take that any day. But our deficiencies, our weaknesses, our problems were exposed. And Bibiano has a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So one thing I love the most about your judge, accurately, you don't overhype or diminish the reality and always speak very logical. This is very special about you. Thanks. Well, but I'm trying to be honest. It makes no sense to hype anyone, right? It makes, if you hype someone, and I take 2023 SAF Cup, Igor hyped the team. I saw with my own eyes the semi-final and final. And a lot of the quality guys, ex-players who understand football, who are there, public will never say that. I'm one of few people who say that, right? But they said, listen, we won on penalties and we're very lucky because Lebanon and Kuwait were actually better than us. I remember there's a video from the India-Hong Kong game, which India won 4-0, and Renedy said, you know what? Our gameplay was very, very poor. And that's the point. That's the guys who understand, let's see. We scored 16, conceded 1. I think the boys would have performed better. I hadn't told them now, be cautious, hold the ball and don't be ultra offensive. That was bad for the players. Battered. XYZ, I don't think so. I don't think, I think, So, yeah, to me, Bibiano knows, has experience, and he will go with what he thinks is right for the team. If India goes out in this kind of match situation and plays all out, India will most probably suffer, right? And that's the point with this whole situation that we've had, that he knows how to judge it. And if you think that also, we come to the psychological part of this, that he is going to go into a situation that's the point. So, yeah. What's going on with Odisha FC? Are they going to shift their base? Augusto, it is one of the rumors which are there. There are certain problems, of course, since the change of government in Odisha, that the support that Odisha FC were getting from the Odisha government has become less. Commercial support has become less. And they're facing some struggles. So therefore, for me, so therefore, that's the thing. Yeah. If you don't watch Indian matches with big teams until you should comment what we can win against them. So, Satyam, experience. I've seen enough football. I'll be arrogant enough to say that you can watch as much as you want on television, but watching live matches makes the difference. I've seen more Indian national team live matches at senior and junior level than anybody. because I've had the pleasure of watching them not only in India or in other parts of Asia, but I've watched them in Europe. I've watched them in the Caribbean, in South America, here in Germany, X number of times. So I think I'm someone who can observe it. And if you say that we can compete with Southeast Asian, great. But I saw these boys 2 years ago in Germany, in Stuttgart. The worst I've seen of an under 17 team on German soil ever. And that is stuck in my mind, you know. Vashva answers, when I go with the flow and feel too high on our wins, I come to hear Arun for reality checks. Always the accurate analyst. Thank you. Even I used to feel like you, Satyam, around 2020. Vashva, thanks. But you also now, you work as a commentator. You see things, you observe things. For that, I've been around teams too often. And I think I can judge things, you know. So therefore, that's the point. So tell a real chance of qualifying for FC Women Asian Cup in June. Ranlata, Thailand is bringing in 6 players from US plus a few from Europe. I think that says it all. That's my concern. Thanks, Ranlata. I know your level, but I think our Uniteds are always showing something special. But if someone say today that if Bangladesh play better, I only laugh into it. And that's something, again, you seem to have that opinion, but everybody else is not your opinion. So therefore, then you have to sometimes say, my opinion is most probably wrong. If you want to say that they've got something special to show, this is not special. What if you want to build a narrative around it? There is no narrative to build. So what's the chance of Ronaldo retiring with at least a Nations League or FIFA World Cup as a legend? No idea. Charlotte has won the Euros, so you should be happy with that, as with Portugal. These players are technically very good. The only thing India needs at least 35, 40 matches in all together for each team to get better quality players. They lack composure today. Okay, technically very good. I didn't see that. You know, if we won against Bangladesh play better. If we lost against Bangladesh, then they also Bangladesh nationalized us. Do people think they are thinking one is some Brazil or something else? Okay. Satyam, yeah, no point. I am good. Vasha says back to the player thing. I mean, there are players, but will they be willing to come to represent India, the young ones? Yes, Vasha, yes. But we have to make the effort. As I say again and again, if you look at other countries, they are working with a plan to get players. When Abhishek Yadav went out and tried to get players for the Indian system with Indian passports, Abhishek made an effort, right? So we have to make an effort, you know. So that's the reality. So for me, if you ask me, without thinking, I think I know 25 players who would be willing to represent India. Are they going to be all good enough? No, most probably not. But that's how we filter out, you know. Constant said there's so much in ego rather than football development. Yeah, Murali said a lot of things. Yeah. We were in midfield, says SCT. Yeah, that was a problem. Even before the final, some YouTube creators started to make reels showing skills of these boys happening up tonight. They were exposed unless they perform like they did against Minnows. We shouldn't hype. Rishabh, that's the reality, right? And that's something that certain people don't want to accept. That you know, hyping is nice, but the hype will at some stage be exposed. That is our problem. We are of a certain level, and if we don't perform better than that, we're going to have problems, you know. And that's the reality. I see some rare for government along POs. It's a good ad for the nation's comprehensive national power and POs, an easy way to get credit for sports development. Yeah, it's a soft power. Serious. And that's, Abhijit, a lot of people, a lot of countries are doing it. Yeah. Bangladesh played better than India today. Yeah, that is a fact. I don't think it was Bibiana's tactics. Don't forget, guys, this last year 70 team conceded 8 but managed to score 4. Rushabh, that is one of those games where I know an Indian football fan will say, oh, you know what, we scored 4, but again, to concede 8 in a game where Japan could have scored 12, 13, makes me worried. So for me, today, going defensive, Viviano, was it his intention? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he was forced into it. One thing I love about Arunachal fans and government's connection in terms of football range, yeah, they're trying. I really hope we stop this fake hype thing, but people always do that. Yeah, I think that's that's life in today's world. AIFF should invest more in developing infrastructure in the Northeast region. Today's evidence clearly shows how people of these regions have invested in football. AIFF is not in a position to invest into infrastructure, right? To me, that is not a question. The problem is that the AIFF has to now see that the system keeps running. For them to invest into infrastructure, if you're expecting the AIFF to invest into infrastructure, then the expectations is at a wrong level. So therefore, that's something that we need to look at. Right, over 51 minutes, nearly 52 minutes. Just a quick reminder, if you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. 16 likes so far. Thank you very, very much. Share it with other people to join in our conversations. And if you want to come back for more regular content, do subscribe to the channel. We're at 2,557 subscribers. Thank you very, very much. And if you're new, you're listening, you're liking what you're hearing, be part of the conversations, ask your questions, and I'll try and answer them. Oh, and yes, shout out to Classic Football Academy from Arbash, Rishi, Bharat to Sumit, Roshan, and Gokul Suraj in the previous matches. Leme Thangwa, Rohan, and more fruits of Renedy Sir's prospect. Vashwar, very, very important point. Renu, if you see his commitment, Renedy, sorry, let me be formal, even though he's one of my best friends. Renedy is one of those who's proven, right? He started an academy with nothing. Of course, Classic Group came around, supported him, worked to a plan, older batch, then a younger batch, and has given them something. And some of them are now moving into the academies of top ISL teams, or ISL teams in general, some of them into the I-League as well. But the problem is that last step from 16 to 21, can they really develop that level? And that's going to be the test for these boys. Yeah, and that's going to be the real test. Honestly, in all 3 games before the final, I always felt this defense isn't robust. It's just they aren't troubled enough, and today we got the reality. Yeah, Rushabh, that was my point. I think the Bangladesh is now our real competitor, right? Can these players with their skills interact or grown a bit, can add physicality to the Arsenal if they were physical to Bangladesh as well? I really don't see Bangladesh defeating us. The physicality is one part, Abhijit. I sometimes feel that it's the overall package of the player, right? It is about the physicality, about tactical awareness, about technical abilities, knowing your football basics. It's the package. And that is something which we need to work on, Do you think in general the way in which government runs the sports in India has a huge problem? Only if you accept Odisha, CM, there's always internal fight and court case dragging for years. It's this way and that way, Murali. You mentioned Odisha. I would like to mention Mizoram, and there are other states as well, and there are others where it's a complete mess. Indian clubs will get one of the toughest opponents in AFC this year in comparison to past, because now league structure is vast and unknown teams are doing great. Yeah, could be, yeah. If we can't bring OCI and POs, can we send our kids in matches to European academies? Will that help Indian football? SGT Chang, nice idea, but the problem is you can't send kids to Europe. There are rules and regulations which don't allow a transfer of minors. First problem, and in batches, who's going to take them? Is there someone who's going to put in, I don't know, 50 or 100 million dollars, pounds, euros a year into doing this? You know, if our players learn to play in tight spaces with composure, with quick one-touch passes and play through the middle, which is physicality, we're good. We play long, go to wings, cross, run back to defend. And Abhijit, you've just summed up what we can't play. Very simple. I mean, we aren't hyping youth teams when they're winning or perform well. It's just that we as Indian football fans aren't used to consistent or prolonged joy and success in national teams, especially senior national team. It's difficult to see it, in my opinion, that way, because we've been hyping, you know, because we've been hyping our youth teams for quite a while, and no one has fulfilled that potential promise, right? That's the problem at the end of the day. Even if you send them to Europe, you don't know how they turn in when they go as pros. Remember, Aaron Brewster, let's look at our local example. Ishani didn't turn into a big thing. Yeah, very right, Rishabh. When is the next big tournament for this United team? It's the AFC U20 Asian Cup qualifiers later this year. Off topic, sir, how do Germans treat Indians in general? Is there a sense of distaste towards Indians now? I'm planning to do masters in Germany. Ashish, again, it is always different. I think that there is no distaste for Indians. They treat them good, well, but Indians have not done themselves any favors in the last few years across the world, and so yeah, doesn't have to be, but can be. Do Classic Football Academy have a team that play National Pyramid? Yes, they play in the youth competitions. They reached the final of the RFDL, lost to Mohun Bagan in there, but don't have a senior team. Cristiano Jr. scored a brace today in the 3-2 win versus Croatia U15 in the Vlatko Markovic placement round final. Not bad, huh? Why does it feel like Indian football has reached its saturation point? I don't think it's reached its saturation point by any, I think it's quite way off. When you look at Japan, their physique is less, but compete against physical strong team and beat them. Yeah, because they're better technically and tactically. We speak Barcelona, a Messi, Iniesta, a Xavi. Those guys weren't the tallest or aren't the tallest. Yamin Yamal, you have to be better than the others. Hi, Akash. I remember OCI saga around Danny, most probably 13, 14 years ago, but nothing happened. I was in high school then. Yeah, Danny Bath, 2013, I think, around the Asian football. Yeah, 12 years ago, Asian Football Awards. Danny wanted to play for India, was open to that idea, but things didn't happen. So nothing has moved. Sadly, so therefore that's a challenge, and therefore things sadly haven't moved in the right direction. That's it. Is Vijay Chitra any good? AIFF, he will have to prove himself. He's staying, or he has stayed now with Colón in Uruguay, and let's see if he makes it over there. OCI players will be really good for international PR, though. By the way, do China allow their origin players? If yes, then why they are struggling? Akash, they have naturalized foreigners in China. I'm not sure. They have naturalized, I think, Hong Kong Chinese, as far as I know, but I don't know if they've naturalized Chinese players from other parts of the world. Hard to believe there aren't any good youth players in Kerala, Goa, Bengal, Punjab, Manipur, Mizoram. Also, most of them are from Classic Football Academy. I mean, there are, but the players have to showcase themselves and come up. Sports experts say our players are not magicians to instantly compete on Olympics. Our only hope, do not get smacked. Okay, Murali. So I read that, and as you already said, we can't send minors to Europe. Fair enough, but if we apply this idea, what are some of the countries where we can send our young players? Other parts of Asia, maybe, Ranjan? China doesn't have good origin players at all. Now they've started to naturalization stays working Africans, Brazilians. XYZ, they have naturalized foreigners playing in China for the last, I don't know, 25, 30 years. So it's not a new thing that the Chinese are doing at this moment in time. They've done it in the past as well. Honestly, another, I see plenty of Indian, Punjabi, Bengali lads in England grounds, academies, but why are we not seeing them in English football system? Racism. They don't want to say it, but I would say it's a racism. Sorry, not racist. It's a racism problem that there is the lack of respect that South Asians have. I mean, how many Michael Chopras, Hamza Chaudhurys do we see in that system in the UK? Very, very few. It looks super grim in Indian football head. Don't know what will be league future and how long court will prolong that case. Yeah, Blue. That's those are realities. If you, or anybody else likes it or not, those are the issues and problems that we're facing in Indian football, and things will have to change dramatically for us to be able to see better times, right? I mean, the hope is always that we will see better times, right? And that's why I think it's a challenge. Yeah, let's wait and see. Do you think power in running sports is in wrong hands in India? Have you ever felt? What about other parts of the world? Yeah, Morali, that's a problem. That's not an Indian problem. It's problem in a lot of countries around the world. Clearly, Bangladesh played well today. The way they build up after 15 minutes. Yeah, they did. They're blown away by China sports. So they've done something special. Morali, the Chinese have invested in infrastructure massively from a government perspective, but even also then thereafter from a corporate perspective. They have a, a brutal system of selection, but it has helped them. It is, you know, they've had foreigners coming in to coach and work over there. They've had the best in the world. So from that, yeah, they've had. So that's what the Chinese have done over the years, right? So therefore, they are where they are, and that's why they've been, or why they are, you know, and therefore the Chinese are on a different path and level. What's your review after the game, Rhythm? Two, three things. I think we got exposed. I take the win again and again. I would say that I take the win. I take the trophy. But I think Bangladesh showed us our defensive frailties. Better teams will utilize that. We had issues in our build-up. We've got a talented attacking line. That is surely there. But overall, Bibiano has a lot of work to do. And that is something he's got quite a bit of homework to go back to and try and build something. So therefore, for Bibiano, not very easy. But I know that he is capable of things, and Bibiano now will have to prove what he can do with this team, right? So it's not an easy task. So let's wait and see where he can push this side. Let's put it this way. If you were in the AIFF core or in power, what would you do to improve our Indian football FIFA ranking in current scenario? Oh, ICC Chang. The first thing is to review where we are, what we have, and what needs to be done. I think the great plans, first of all, ensure that the structure is functioning. One has to ensure that you're raising enough money to be able to run the system. I think those are the basic things. I wouldn't bother about the FIFA ranking at this moment in time, to be very honest with you. Have the right coaches at senior, junior level, men's and women's, and see that the system runs. Why ISL announced the starting of next season while deals still not in place? ISL has not announced the dates, right? I think it's been some media people have done it. To get anyone exceptional, all seems very average to not good to me. Blue, no. I totally agree on that with you. So why do they go to other European countries? Why don't they go to other European countries? Why preferring alternative races exists? I think going to Greece will also do something. Ritam, there we're not talking about people who are going there. These are people who are born and brought up in the UK. So we're not talking about people going from India to play their football there. Is Bijay still in Uruguay? Yes, and Transfer has written that he's in Chennai. And see, also when you say recently I haven't been doing any favors outside, what do you mean by that? Pranjal, the Indian government says that, India this, India that, abroad, and blah, blah. Sadly, none of it's true. India's reputation has not been helped, especially what has happened with Pakistan, because people will not go into depth. No, there was a war between the two sides, and it's both sides are. Why are they now sending these MPs to all these countries to try and tell India's side of the story? Let's forget if you were in charge of a state affair, district affair. How would you work with a limited budget? Rushabh, it depends on which state, what I have, what I don't have, who are the people around me. Because the reality is also, I would most probably not even take charge of a state FA or a district FA if I don't have the right people around me. Right? Because this is not a one army job, a one man job. You need to have people around you who will work with you to build something. Otherwise, this is not going to get you somewhere. People often say billion people getting single digit medal tally. Think our ecosystem federation running people in power needs to question, never going to happen in India. Murali, as you say, accountability is a problem. But if yeah, we are it's that criticism is something which is there, and you can't take it away. What are the recent behavior of Indians you think really not up to the mark and hurting our reputation to Europeans? People share the same views. Abhijit, the point is that we've had quite an influx of Indians in Europe over the last few years. Across Europe, I would say. UK, it's been there. So therefore, and those who've been coming from India, I see that in our Durga Pujas. I happen to be the president of our Durga Puja in Cologne. People, a lot of Indians don't have basic manners these days. Basic manners which are a must in this part of the world. And again, having money can't buy you manners, and that is something that I feel is a big problem. Northeast ecosystem most probably oppose OCI inclusion. No. Why would they? So any news on upcoming Indian football season is really hard to get info. Everyone just giving opinions. Again, rare. At the moment, there is no Indian football season. I mean, anyone who's giving you any dates doesn't have a clue. I mean, for example, people have now made this whole story. These are Duran Cup dates, and it's happening in Kokrajhar. Kokrajhar is hosting one maximum, not even maximum. They will host one group in the Duran Cup. And didn't the AIFF say that they're looking to push the Duran Cup to the end of the season? Nobody knows what is happening with the season. It's a complete mess. I know that more and more people in clubs are getting worried and saying, will the season happen? Your views on AIFF Youth Leagues, what are the criticisms apart from the length of the league? Length, you said it. I would try and localize the whole thing more. I would have 8 to 10 team competitions, let them play a certain number of matches, and then so that's the reality. I didn't like the gameplay at all. Clearly, they met lots of silly made out of the mistake and thus conceded the goal. It looks like they were just trying to kick the ball. Ritam, if we're going to talk about gameplay and liking it in an Indian football team, I don't know if we're on the right side. Right? So to me, if you see that, it is what it is, right? By the way, it was very exciting to see the Indian basketball team perform in the Asian Cup in August. Also, a group for FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers announced Lebanon, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and another team. Yeah, could be interesting group. Your take on Naushad Musa as U23 coach. See, Naushad has done some good work at BFC, and also at Northeast United. So yeah, good choice. Our government is sending people to explain Operation Sindoor and all in foreign countries. I thought we had one foreign minister and foreign embassies. Look like they are spending good vacation. Blue, and it's not good vacation. It's the need that you need to send certain people outside to explain India's story. And that to me doesn't speak well of the foreign ministry, sadly. Any idea what Indian football philosophy AIFF has promised? No, there is no Indian football philosophy being born. What is the Indian football philosophy? Bang the ball forward and hope someone scores. That's been our football philosophy for years. As a fan, should I retire from Indian football? No, you shouldn't. Give it a thought. Yeah. So, yeah. No, India Park wasn't the issue because you said this was once way before the issue too. Pranjal, yeah, it has been an issue for a while. And I say this as a Indian origin person, that I feel that the newer people who are moving abroad don't want to integrate into the system. They, what have we been said? And I've seen this in the UK with Indians. You see that with North Africans in France. You see it with the Turkish population in this. So when you get too many people of a kind getting together, the system doesn't work anymore. No? If you don't mind, but I want to know that did you ever face racism? How you tackled it? Rhythm, I've not. Funnily, I always say in Germany, no. In the sense of direct racism, there's always these small little indirect things, and then I can be sarcastic and I can be nasty in my answers. But I've faced it in UK, America, faced weird kind of racism in India, right? Or as someone of origin, you face that in India. So yeah. Do German children still think India Pago is really India's fault, or do they see it? How government should have been dealing with it? How common India should do and know, and how should they behave? I don't think they think that's India's fault. I think it's very, very clear that it is a reaction to what happened in Kashmir. But my problem is, if you look at the news here in Europe, outside, let's say, of the UK and the BBC and maybe Sky in that way, with all the problems that Europe has itself, they're not bothering about it. And the Americans stepped in, right? Because you've also seen the Indian foreign minister lecturing the Katya Kallas, who's the foreign spokesman of the European Union. So they said, yeah, okay, it's your problem. Then we don't need to bother about it if you think that we don't know what we're doing. So therefore, they've not done themselves any favor, sadly, I have to say. What do means when India doesn't do you favor about talking about reputation, perception towards country or civic sense? Munali, it is a problem that there are certain we've spoken about civic sense, we've spoken about manners, small little things that you learn or you should learn. And it annoys me also when I'm in India, when I stand in line, it happens to me when I stand in line and people pass me and then up front grab things, order things and all that stuff, right? I'm used to standing if I'm standing in a queue, I stand in a queue. I always take my example when I'm flying via, let's say, Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Doha, I fly from Düsseldorf. You get on a flight, it's orderly. You get on a flight in the Middle East towards India, and it doesn't matter which destination it is, everyone wants to get in first. It's utter chaos. People want to immediately get off a flight. It's always very lovely when a plane lands in Düsseldorf, everyone is still sitting. Oh, everyone, okay, plane has touched the gate now. Lights still on, let's wait. Oh, lights turned off. It does happen here as well. That's something. But in India, the other day, what was this? I was in Delhi. I was being pushed by a grandmother in the back, right? That she wanted to get off. So these small little things, right? Being just friendly, courteous. If someone comes, hold the door open, and there's some small little things, small little things. We don't care in society anymore. That's, I think, a big problem. And these are the things, which small little things which I would like to see, right? Nothing, and this is something that I think we need to try and get into our society, and this is very, very important. Reputation of Indians are still far, far better than Arabs or Pakistanis or Bangladeshis or black, but still blacks are every league in European national sides. Akash, is it really? My father always says, my father is a very, very, came in 1961 to Germany. He still holds an Indian passport. He's a very proud Indian. And he sometimes says, I'm very embarrassed by the behavior of these people who have come in the last few years. And I don't have to say anything. If my father says that, who left India as a proud man, still holds an Indian passport, he turns 87 in 2 weeks, that to me says it all. And that's not a subjective opinion. Good night, Abhijit. Speak to you. Current AIFF regime is the worst. Other your opinion. Shan, what should I say? You're very, very right. So to me, but that was evident from the start that this is going to happen. I said it. I was hoping against it, but the combination as it was and as anything, it's, yeah. How far Khelo India contribute football? Not impact. I don't know what the impact is. Is there any impact of Khelo India on football? I don't know. Just so Vijay said is now a permanent deal, guest transfer market can be wrong. Yes, they can be wrong. He's played last season with their, for the first team a few minutes. I think he's been playing for their reserve team, if I'm not wrong. Good night, gear on rare. Traveling time. Thanks. Safe travels as always. Do you watch any other sports aside from football? Yeah, Rhythm, like to watch Formula One. Tennis. Tennis more to me is more of a playing sport than a watching sport these days. Look, like basketball, handball, I've been watching a lot, doing some work on that. Yeah. Someone told me that India fielded a U18 team for the SAF, and is that true? Not that I know, Shudip. Tell me honestly, do you sometimes feel like slapping all those AIFF men just in a voice? No, not slapping, because I'm not that kind of a person who wants to get physical. I rather would be having an argument or a discussion rather, or maybe once in a while shout at them and just say, hey, can you just use your brains and your senses in the things that they are there. Last time in FIBA, qualifiers made past round one, but didn't win a single game. Next round, I think we'll qualify again for the next round. Hope this time win some games. Rishabh, for India, basketball would be big to go to the next step. How can you see any hope of improvement? I see on Dark Road. Ashish, things will have to change at some stage. And that's why I don't lose hope. If I've lost hope, I don't know, I'd have left Indian football most probably 25 years ago. I think once OCI is integrated, football fans in India would multiply by thousands fold. Let's see. XYZ. In my opinion, India's stand in Ukraine backfired on a foreign ministers and accepting too much arrogance will never make friends. Yeah, I mean, the Ukraine thing has backfired massively because India is playing all sides. And, so therefore for me, I've said that. But again, in India, nobody wants to listen to that. So what type of playing style would you like for the national team to follow? Bing bong, I don't want any style. Because you know what? I have to live with what kind of players I have. If I say, listen, I want us to play a 4-2-3-1, but I've got players to play 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 or 5-3-2, 5-4-1. I don't know. It could be other systems. I have to be realistic and practical with the system and the style I play because I have to live with the players I have. I'm not a Barcelona. I'm not an Ajax Amsterdam. I'm not a Spain. I'm not a Brazil or an Argentina or a Germany who have a certain playing style where the players have to adopt. Dave Pokal program in India. I watched in Doordarshan Sports Channel. They're starting it, or maybe they have started it already. Anand, as far as I know, they showed the semi-finals of the Dave Pokal early last month, because I remember I read something about that. And they will show the final next Saturday as well. Off top, I look, people thought you Indian treated differently when you say you're German. People treat you differently. Yep, right. That's happened in the Middle East. An ex-girlfriend of mine once said, whenever you are in the Middle East, just tell the people, especially the Arabs, you're German. They will treat you differently. And boy, they treat one differently, right? Different level of respect. And yeah, that's a sad reality. Life was good when I used to watch Argentina and the FIFA World Cup in black and white TV back then. After I started watching Indian football, know about AIFF and all, it's become frustrating. SGT Chang, yeah, maybe those are the good days, but we have to go through highs and lows, and sadly, we are going through a very, very low phase. Do other countries' fans criticize their football body as much as we do? Yeah, they do. And even successful. Did you think what was the criticism of the Brazil fans after Brazil lost to Germany 7-1? Right? I mean, that was a state crisis in Brazil. But India do need to explain their side, because we aren't the mighty US who can bomb wherever they want. Also, what do Germans feel about Russians? Because European Reddit is toxic towards them. India needs to tell its side of the story, yes. But India can't run around and say, "Arey, we are this, we are that, and blah, blah," and nobody's listening. This outreach program is good. The question is, what kind of story will India tell? Because the other side will tell you, yeah, nice, you're telling us, but aren't you on the other side telling us not to get involved in the conflict? So what is India's strategy in this? And what Germans feel about Russians? Most of the Germans don't like the Russians with what has been happening. That bridge has been broken. Yes, I totally agree with you. In Europe, everything is structured in sports and the way country functions. Seeing India gives you a complete shock to person. Yes, Morai, that's a problem. I think even decent manners people take time to learn. Just today, my bus had stopped at this rest. Everybody rushed to pee. All of us were just scattered around waiting for others to finish. So this uncle came in while my turn was going to come. He then realized, oh shit, I just broke the queue even without saying what. It was mutual understanding. He allowed me in and waited for his turn. Rushabh, but that is good. If the uncle did that, that's fine, right? So this is, small little steps. OCI, Amit, we'll have to wait and see. Nothing sure at this moment in time. If people want to know what is the status on OCI, I say I did 2 videos on that topic. One, Government of India looking at OCI inclusion in Indian sports 2 days ago, and another short one, how can OCI card holders play for India? Where I try to explain how I see what we should, need to do. Watch it. If we improve leadership, can we grow in sports when we won't have quality players? Murali, better leadership will hopefully get us, hopefully there. Spitting or anywhere or everywhere, throwing plastic everywhere, gathering around foreigners, passion 5,000 if a Russian lady goes by, and many more. I am a proud Indian, but can't ignore this. Ritam, that's the point. That is very well summed up. Sadly, but you are spot on to me on the problems, on the issues that we're facing at this moment in time. And therefore, for me, yeah, it's a huge challenge, right? That's a huge challenge. Amit, as I just said, if you want to know more, I did these short videos, just watch them as explainers, but at the moment, I can't tell you any time. I can't give you a timeline. How do you see hate towards Southgate? It's a problem, right? And not only to Southgate, in generally, I think in sports, towards coaches, towards players, forget football. Let's generalize to sports. It's a problem. And Southgate, of course, people say, oh, you know what? He got you results, but he had that talented team. He didn't play football. But yeah, we got England to finals, right? There was a controversy on how AIFF was purposely failing good coaches so that they would apply for the exam again and make more money out of it. How would you tackle the situation? Bing Bong, the there are two sides of the story. To me, is it true? My first question would be, right? Your homework is it true that they've been failed? You can be a good coach potentially, but you could be bad in your theories, right? In your theoretical exams. So, and if you would have to tackle it, making more money out of it, listen, they're not paying that much that it's so much of, we're talking about crores and you're talking about thousands. So this logic doesn't apply, in my opinion. Biano wants to take us to World Cup, but after today's performance, not for that, it's difficult. I let him, again, I admire him. But he has to get up to an AFC U20 Asian Cup first. Is there any news on Chennai FC incoming? Lakshmi Narayan, nothing. I mean, there was talk that they were trying to extend Connor Shields, even though Connor Shields supposedly wants to go out. Let's see. Off topic, India is not for beginners. Now, in the media, same time we talk about Vishwaguru. Yeah. Vishwaguru का क्या हाल है बाहर में? There is no Vishwaguru. India's, as I said, reputation has not gone up in the last 10, 11 years. Sorry. People are delusional when it comes to Russia or Israel supporting India. I just remember this quote from Churchill. There are no friends, there are only interests. Yeah. And if you want to add Donald Trump as a quote, there are business interests. And that's the thing. People are transactional, countries are transactional. And India is not... if India gets in trouble with China, I don't know who will come in India's support. Will anyone come in India's support? And there's like to quote him, yeah. Honestly, Morali seems promising. Let's see what they can produce. Though I didn't like how the British and Chinese media, especially, completely victimized by and made false equivalence and was without conflict. I don't think so, because if you look at how Yalda Hakim did her interviews with the Pakistani government officials, I don't think they victimized them, right? And there are questions that need to be asked, and nobody's asking them. Without Chetri, who would be your first choice striker in the national team? Bosh, would be a good question. Who would be your first choice striker? If fit, Irfan Yadwat would be a candidate. If fit, allowed Rahim Ali. I'm at that level at this moment. Yeah, let's see. Everyone is not perfect, nor we can has their own problems, but I feel rather than just criticize, we need to step up and start educating others, make our country better. Not very well said. Start with yourself. Small little things, right? So therefore, that's the thing. I don't get why people hate Southgate more than the myth, the legend, Harry Maguire. Rhythm, yeah. And then media is even worse. Blow like jokes. I mean, think about it, that they're playing war in TV studios. As I've said earlier on today, war can never be a solution. War can never be an outcome, right? Because everyone suffers and you're not going to gain from it. Do you think transparency will increase by introducing technology in such governing bodies like AIFF? No. If they want to do the things that they want to do, there is a lack of transparency, there's a lack of accountability, and that was better in the previous regime than it is now. So, and they had less technology. Scan is a good obviously I want to mention. Okay, blue. Did Germany face threat from Russia? Did this one affect countries that was interesting? Well, yes, of course. Russia has been a problem. The guy who founded Homeopathy is a German. I'm curious, do people in Germany use homeopathy pills and medicine? Not at all. Not at all, Rohit. When you tell Germans that, because it's seen as an alternative form of medicine, it's not recognized by the medical insurance companies. So yeah, no. I don't want to go off topic, but today I will. What do you think of a certain interesting poll about Germany winning few seats and getting qualified as far right? It's a problem. It's a problem because they sell you, the far right around the world sells you dreams to people who are disenfranchised, who think that they're not being served. So, but for me, these people are very, very dangerous in regard to their political views and how they are trying to sell things. Yeah. So therefore, yeah. So yeah, Akash, I'm not going to say what you've written in Bangla. I remember as a classic example of propaganda and scapegoating. People literally watch football from reels. Now they are like, oh, he suddenly improved. But Rishabh, isn't that the problem of society today? That we have a certain section of society who lives off social media, who lives off WhatsApp, who lives off not, you know, uh, yeah, that's the problem. So, but there has to be repercussion if someone does these things with our people. Of course. But the question is, how do you do it? How you sell it? And yeah, that's the problem. Most of my wife's friends are PhD in postdoc research on mannerless, loud, arrogant, extremely messy, and visibly dirty. Akash, and that is what I've, you know, a big problem. When we talk about these things, we are not talking about the the lower stratas of society, the poorer people. Yeah, we're talking about, uh, so that's the problem. Biggest was the government is selling Operation Sindoor as a PR campaign after losing the plot dramatically. And this is not a PR campaign. Yeah. You know Robin Dutt? Yes, Shudip, I do know Robin. Civic sense of Indians is worst. Yeah, Indians and Chinese, I would say. Where Germany's automobile king, do you think in future can be in the mecca of our racing is famous? Yes, Germany is one of the hubs of the automobile industry, and racing is very big. We've got some of the biggest races coming out of here. Does the German clubs are losing money? So the article, is it true? Which clubs? Again, some have been losing money, yes, especially in the second division. What's up with neonazism in Germany? It's quite rising in America. It's a problem across the Western hemisphere because I think in the West there is this thinking of influx of people from other parts of the world, and that has sort of, yeah, changed opinions and part of the problem in today's world. I don't see any hope in Indian football until they organize proper youth leagues with a proper duration with adequate matches, quality coaches, and underage teams with good foreign coaches. Yeah, Bing Bong, I will go with you on that, and I'll say you need grassroots, youth football, the competitions for these teams, quality coaching for these teams, and a scouting network. Yeah. So yeah, India 60% of the defense arsenal from Russia. Without Russia, India can't survive any war from China. Rohit, think about the other way. The Russian arsenal has been, um, you know, in Ukraine, those arsenals are useless. I think Japan is the most polite and civic sense people I've ever met. I like they treat people. Morally, on one side, yes, but the Japanese are also very cold. There is weird kind of distance, I feel. But yes, if you see that when the Japanese football team goes somewhere, um, yeah, that's it. Far right is funny. They themselves are natives and they crowd with them. Rishabh, perfect point. But yeah, who will explain it to them? Influx of Muslims create this right. What in some Western countries has happened with people who are Punjabis or others, um, and even to Hindus. There's been, I covered it. There's an old video of mine where I did a report for Times Now where a 16-year-old ISIS sympathizer attacked a Gurdwara. Yeah. So those are, some of these things are there. Is this because Germans and Ottomans have been allies in World War II? No, nothing to do with that. Also, nowadays, everyday regional public is fighting in social media for their region, like Tamils versus Karnatakas, Bengali versus Bihari, etc., etc. We were going to African ways, this exchange is destroying unity. Very well said. You know, uh, um, it is. I always felt, it's for example, what I felt, for example, in a city like Kolkata's diversity was its biggest strength, in my opinion, right? And yeah, that's been undermined. Without India, Russia would have been a complete vassal state of China that would be legitimate for India. It's not complicated. Okay, I don't think so, but again, good night. Take care, Jayan says Bing Bong. Yeah, I'll also come to an end, 1 hour, 36 plus minutes. Yeah, congratulations to the India under-19 boys for winning the SAF United Championship. Congratulations, Viviano. Spoke about a lot of things, even non-football, but the football discussion will continue. OCI is no development. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'll try and catch you tomorrow with another live. As always, like this video, share this video, especially those of you who might be watching it afterwards. Thanks for watching it. Let's keep on growing the community. Thanks for those who've subscribed. Watch the short videos. I think there's some interesting stuff, especially the one which I did today on my approach regarding OCI card holders. I think there's some truths that I feel, that could take us forward. And I'll catch you in the next live. Thanks. Good night, everyone.